The Miami Dolphins are showing us something different this year. It's not the flashy, high-scoring offense we got used to seeing. No, it's something more methodical, more patient, a shift in identity that's redefining how this team approaches its games. Look no further than their 34-19 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. Long drives, calculated plays, and a focus on avoiding costly mistakes seem to be the new formula. But is this sustainable? Some say no, but why not? This approach might not be what fans expect, especially when you've got a quarterback like Tua Tagovailoa and a roster full of talent. But let's think about it. Why wouldn't it work? Sure, falling behind early in a game can put you in a tough spot, especially if the offense struggles to find its rhythm. But this isn't about playing catch-up, it's about staying in control. And that's exactly what the Dolphins have been doing since the fourth game of the season, particularly during Tagovailoa's absence when they had to adapt without their star QB. When Tua came back, though, everything clicked. The efficiency returned. The drive started stretching out. And the most important difference? The Dolphins stopped shooting themselves in the foot with turnovers at critical moments. That's what has separated their recent wins from earlier losses, like those against the Colts, Cardinals, and Bills. In those games, mistakes were killers. In the last two, the Dolphins have been cleaner, more disciplined, and more in control. Long drives don't just keep the offense on the field, they keep the defense fresh and the opposing offense off the field. That's huge. Yes, there's a risk when you're not going for big plays all the time. If one drive stalls, it can swing momentum. But what we're seeing is a team that's learning how to grind out wins by staying focused and taking advantage of what's in front of them. And let's talk about that, taking what the defense gives you. It's not glamorous, but it's effective. CBS commentators Jay Feely and Ross Tucker made some interesting points during the broadcast. They suggested that Tagovailoa might be getting rid of the ball too quickly, missing opportunities for those bigger plays. There's some truth to that. But why force it when the safer, smarter play is right there? Feely thinks this can't last. Maybe he's right. Or maybe he's missing the point. The big plays will come, they always do when you're patient and keep the defense guessing. And when they come, they'll be game changers. Take Jonnu Smith's 57-yard touchdown against the Raiders. That wasn't just a big play, it was the dagger, the one that put the game out of reach. Plays like that open up because of the groundwork laid earlier in the game. When you keep hitting those underneath routes, taking the short gains, and grinding down the clock, defenses get tired. They make mistakes. And that's when the deep shots hit. But it's not just about the passing game. The running game has struggled a bit lately, and part of that is because fullback Alec Ingold has been out. His return could bring some much-needed balance, helping the offense stay even more unpredictable. Devin Achane showed flashes of what this team can do on the ground with a 30-yard run that set up a touchdown early in the second half. That's the kind of spark this offense needs to complement its new identity. Of course, no approach is perfect. There are always things to nitpick, always ways to improve. But let's not lose sight of the bigger picture. The Dolphins are finding ways to win. They're controlling games. They're minimizing mistakes. That's a winning formula, even if it's not the high-octane offense everyone expects. And isn't that what matters? Winning games, putting yourself in a position to make a run, those are the goals. Style points don't count in the standings. What's interesting is how this all ties back to the team's evolution. Earlier in the season, when Tua was out, it felt like the Dolphins were in survival mode. They had to make do with what they had, and that meant leaning on the defense and finding creative ways to move the ball. Now, with Tua back and the offense settling into this new rhythm, it feels more intentional. This isn't just about surviving anymore, it's about thriving in a new way. Some fans might be frustrated, longing for those explosive plays we've seen in the past. But patience is key. The Dolphins are showing they can adapt, they can evolve, and they can win in different ways. That's what makes a team dangerous. When you can beat opponents in multiple ways, you become harder to prepare for and harder to stop. So where does this leave the Dolphins moving forward? It's hard to say. The NFL is unpredictable, and no team is perfect. But what we're seeing is a group that's learning, growing, and finding its identity. If they can continue to minimize mistakes, capitalize on opportunities, and stay patient, there's no reason this can't be sustainable. It might not always be pretty, but it's effective. And at the end of the day, isn't that what matters most?